Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone had a great weekend. I am Denoris Wilson, and you are now tuned in to the BRI, which is the Black Research Institute, where we're here and we're committed to solving the problems. Tonight, I have a special guest, dope individual, someone I actually became acquainted with through my wife, entrepreneur, doing her thing in the hair industry, trying to leave her mark, trying to educate people and inform people about healthy hair and just informing people about how to take care of their hair. And I'm gonna play my intro, and when we get back, I'm gonna introduce tonight's guest. Ladies, you'll want to tune into this because this is going to be very informative to you in regards to your hair. All right, so give me a second and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. You can't see her, but I see her. She's smiling in the green room. She just saw her video for her summit that she didn't get to do this year because of COVID. But I try to, keep the suspense and before I bring on my guest, but I gave it away when I showed the video because her name is on it. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce y'all to Miss Tammy Golden-Pugh.
Hey, thank you.
What's up,
You. How are you?
How
I'm
you
good.
doing?
Thank you. I'm great.
Are you staying safe?
As much as I can, I mask down, alcohol down, wipes down, and socially distance. Little cabin fever, but it's what we got to do.
Hey, man. My grandmother used to say, every day above ground is a good day.
Yes. So
Every day above ground is a good day. I hardly ever go anywhere, period. But with COVID, it's like I'm not going nowhere. I'm not going nowhere. So man, it's been a minute since you and I actually, heard each other's voice. We I think the last time I saw you, we was in Tampa.
yeah, December, almost a week ago.
Yep.
A year ago, right? To about a week off a year ago, I actually met you personally in Tampa at the Taster Summit with your wife Tracy, and like I said, COVID changed everything. So the event I was supposed to have this year in Los Angeles was canceled, but we tabled it to online, which is where every business better be right now.
Look where we at right now.
It's really not an option. And so we had a great event. It went well, and we're just adjusting. And it's actually other than the limited travel and visiting friends and family, I can't complain about business. It's just it shifted the trajectory, and I'm grateful I was able to shift with it and not get stuck and get frozen. Some people got frozen and kind of just backpedal or didn't do anything. I just shifted with it, closed my salon. Didn't think that would happen. I had just opened it, but God opened a door where I can actually get out the lease and went full-time online sales.
Tam, slow down, Tam.
Okay.
Like, we're gonna get into all of that. Slow down. Like we're gonna get that. We're gonna get there. So wait a minute. Before we even get into all of that, Tammy, tell the people about you. Tell the people about Tammy Golden-Pugh.
Who am I? So my name is Tammy Golden. Pugh. Pugh is my father's surname, which I took once I figured out who he was. So I just added I added that on. I actually did a DNA thing about 2 years ago, and actually, which was a lifelong search. So I found it and I put it on the end of my name. I'm wearing that name.
I know that's right.
Right. But I'm a licensed cosmetologist of 31 years, a former salon owner, educator. I've done everything in the beauty industry. And in the last 4 years, I launched my own hair care line because I'm passionate about hair care. I've worked for top hair care companies in the industry. And so like my fetish in the beauty industry is healthy hair. And so when I wanted to create a hair care line, it had to embody everything that I knew about healthy hair, and it had to outperform any product that I had ever used before, or at least perform as good. But I wanted an extra oomph on it. And so I just dug deep and did my research and was able to put together a line for professionals, so has a consumer side for maintenance, but our core audience is professional stylists, helping support them, offering premium services to their clients, and then offering their clients the maintenance products to support them when they're not with their stylists.
Okay, so what is the name of your brand?
So the name of my brand is Silk Out System, which is the hair care line. Silk Out System is the retail side, and then Silk Out Pro is the professional side.
Okay. Now, what separates the Silk Out brand from any other hair care products out here, besides you being associated with it?
The performance. I would say the performance, it just outperforms, and I'm not the only one that say that. There's at least 200 other stylists that say the same thing, but it just outperforms. And as one stylist called it, she said it's a slam dunk product. Like when you pull it out to use it, you know what you're going to get. You don't have to wonder, am I going to do a great job? Is this going to work? Their confidence level knows that they're going to deliver the results every single time.
So how long have you had this brand?
4 years. 4 years. We started in 2016.
4 years. So what made you go into the product aspect of the beauty industry?
Well, I always loved education as a professional stylist. So I attended a lot of events early in my career. I was like a show junkie. And then I was able to get jobs with some of my favorite companies teaching, which was like exhilarating to be working with the company and the products that I use, which afforded me more training behind the scenes. And then after I, got tired of like the corporate structure of working with those type of companies, I started to create my own educational platform in which I just taught techniques, and I didn't work for a company. I had an independent educational brand. And then from there, about 5 or 6 years ago, I saw that there was just a lacking in the professional world, a product. I couldn't even find a product that I wanted to use anymore because things had become so accessible by consumers. So it didn't keep us set apart. And so I just said, you know what, I want to bring this product to market. I teach and I consult for a lot of other companies, and they were not giving me the leverage I desired. There were some companies, they would seek me out because they wanted my experience on our type of hair. So they wanted my knowledge and my expertise, but they didn't want to give me a code, a kickback, nothing. And so I said, I'm keep bringing you guys my audience. I keep bringing you guys my audience. And because I'm so passionate about it, I don't mind doing it. But the business side of me was like, you should be doing this for yourself. and stop being pimped for your knowledge. So I said, I got the knowledge. I just need to get a product to put with it.
Right.
And that's when I decided to create my own product.
So when you say you created your own product, like me personally, when I think about something like that, I think about you need scientists and chemists and all these different people to put your particular products together. How did you go about doing that? Like, was that a hard process?
It's a lot of research. It's a lot of research and a lot of working with companies, finding out like what some of them have base products that you can add on to, but they've already kind of done a lot of the homework for you. I have a few products that are from scratch. I have a few products that are added on to. I have some products where I'm actually bought the recipe. So I actually own the recipe to those products. And so, yeah, there are chemists involved, but more so before it gets to me. But because I know products really well, it's a lot of sampling involved. Okay. And I've probably sampled about 40 products and narrowed it down to 6. Based on performance. And anytime I bring her, even like my flat irons, I probably sampled 20 flat irons before I chose a model and the plates that performed the way I wanted it to perform. So it's a lot of what they call research and development.
RDI.
Yeah. So just, one, you got to know what you're looking for. So a lot of people just pick stuff because it sounds good, or I want to add this to my line. But I think I have a knack based on my experience. I know what performs and what doesn't, or lives to high standards.
Right. So in the 4 years that you've been in business, right? How did it feel when you got your first product? Like when your first product came delivered to your door with your brand on it?
It was exciting, but I knew I had a lot more work to do. So I'm not one to I had a launch party, but I knew like this is just the beginning. I got a whole lot more work to do. So I would even say in the 4 years, probably the biggest moment I had was when those leaders, I told you those leaders that never got screened, that got screened and arrived last week. That was like, I felt like I'm complete now. I have a presentation that I can now fully take to market. Like my retail line was complete, but the pro packaging wasn't complete. And so even though I had stylists like your wife and other stylists that really was like, these products work, we're not really concerned about the packaging. We just want what's in them. I knew to really take my business to the next level and start to get into the markets that I want to be in, I just had to get the packaging complete. So for me, I just threw away all the old paper labels this morning and I felt like, whew, I'm done. We can go on to the next level. So it wasn't until this year that I was really, really happy with everything I saw.
Okay, so right now though, you are the sole distributor along with, your stylist and your educational team, right? So are you trying to get in beauty supply stores?
That's not my goal right now. E-commerce is working great for us. I know the traditional business model for hair care products.
That's shot now. That's shot. Yeah, that's a wrap.
That traditional model, people told me I couldn't be on e-commerce. They told me, you got to have a distributor because this is how it goes. And I was telling them, look, you guys, it's click and order. I don't have time for nobody to be riding around in the truck, going door to door. I did it for a company and I didn't like it. So I was a distributor about 6 years ago for a company. And I said, this is for the birds. Let me set up a website because I can reach more people online and talk to more people online than a gentleman can walk into doors every day. It just didn't make any sense. And so I stuck to my e-commerce business model, and learned and finally got a marketing team that talks on to an average of about 8,000 people a day. without anyone having to leave their home and get in a car and burn gas. And so it's work for us. It was a little challenging for stylists. Some people still act as they're a distributor, and it's like with COVID, nobody's coming out. Amazon, if you can order on Amazon, if you can order pizza, if you can order from Sephora, right. You can order from all these other companies. You can be proactive and order your products for your business.
Right. I mean, just like we were talking, earlier in the green room, it's just like the traditional way of doing things is done. Like that's that's a wrap now. And there's no going back to it. Like you know how people say we need to get back to, you ain't getting back to nothing. Like you're gonna start something totally new. But the problem is that before COVID, there was a deterioration in people's pride in their service. Like, you know what I mean? There was a deterioration in that. And I kind of felt like my grandmother or my, someone older when they say, they just don't make stuff like they used to. They don't make it. No, they don't make it like they used to. But no. It's almost like we were saying, it's like now you rolling the dice when you go out here and you trying to give a young entrepreneur a chance, but because it's all about money for them, their product, it may look good on the outside, it may look good, but they didn't do their due diligence all the way through the process to make the whole experience for the consumer to be beneficial. Like, I really hate getting a product or getting something and it looks nice, but it performs ragged, but it performs horrible. Like but it looks good, but it performs horrible. And I feel like the people who sell things like that, they know it's gonna perform horribly, and yet they still sell it. Right. So now my wife is not easily swayed on anything. Not like nothing. And I used to hear her and she'd be on live or on y'all little meetings that y'all have, and she'd come back, she said, Tammy said this and Tammy said that. And I told her, I said, you're talking about this woman like this woman. Like you like you and her best friends or something. And she was like, Tammy said this. And for years, Tammy, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Am I cracking?
No.
Okay. My wife said I'm cracking. But anyway, so she's not easily swayed. But when she got your product, she was off to the races. Like when she initially got it, she tried it out, gave a couple of samples and did it on a couple of people for free. And then she saw how it performed. Man, she was off to the races, man. She was
and that's pretty much, and you know what, it speaks volumes because I know Tracy has been in the industry a while and she's a great stylist. And so our main customer in the pro industry right now are those seasoned veterans that really, really know hair care. Like when they get the product and they call me back or they inbox me or email me and say, okay, this stuff is good, this stuff works. So I'm really, really elated that I attract those high level of stylists, that they're not newbies looking to get started. These are people that is actually bringing something refreshing to their business.
I mean, you provide, like, for me, I think you provide like something that you can't get anywhere else. You know what I mean?
Exclusivity,
right? So it's like, okay, and you got good product from what I understand. My wife been trying to get me a taming treatment forever. You need a tank. You need it. My mom is saying check my sound. It must be something wrong with theirs because I don't know. But anyway, she's been trying to get me to do a taming treatment forever. But you have a good product according to my wife, and like you need to hear her talk about, you need a taming treatment, you need this, you need to hear her the pitch, and she sells it. Like she sells it. And the fact that where we in a little small town, you ain't getting that nowhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You're not getting that brand. You're not getting that, like the finished product, the output. You're not getting that anywhere else unless you go to Dimensions of Beauty, mm-hmm. which is my wife's salon. So I'm proud of her. I'm proud of her for giving you a chance, because I'm telling you, Tracy is not easy. Tracy is not easy. She's not that she's hard, but she's particular about her things. Like she wants something a certain way. Mm-hmm. And she corrected me. Not a taming treatment. She want me to get a cocktail. Not a treatment. But so and I was impressed. Like, even though I tried to, when I went to Tampa, I tried to stay out of the way. You know what I mean? Like, mm-hmm. just because let her enjoy, because that and that camaraderie or whatever. And but I was impressed with the people that you had there. I was impressed with your presentation. Actually, the video that we showed in the beginning had a couple of clips from mm-hmm. that, so I was very impressed. But I also wondered, like, when you decided to go into your own product, right? What did you envision? Like, what's the end game for Silk Out?
The end game is my mission statement is to bring care back to hair, because I feel like hair care got away from our industry, and it just came about style. And then, we have all the wigs, and everybody just wants a quick cover up. Everybody wants a new illusion. Nobody was caring about their hair anymore. And not even stylists were caring about, they had failed for the illusion. And so everybody became an illusion artist. But I felt like there was still core clientele. My clientele was always hair care, healthy hair. And then the second part of that was to bring clients back to the chair. So bring care back to hair and clients back to the chair, meaning re-bridge relationships mm-hmm. between consumers and professional stylists. With the whole YouTube and social media, the internet opened up. It gave everybody a platform to be an expert, whether you were an expert or not. If you could talk about it, if you could capture an audience, you became an influencer. And then professional companies started seeking influencers, because this influencer has 50,000 followers. Let's get some product in her hand, and whatever she says about it is sold. But it kind of diminished the relationship between the stylist and their customers. So everybody became kind of anti-salon, and I can do it myself. If I can just get the products, I can do it. Negating that this stylist has 15, 20 years experience, licensed and trained to understand the science of hair, chemicals, what's going on with your scalp, all these things. And they tried to devalidate us. And so, and although the ones that are strong hold their ground, what I wanted with my product line, and I was even challenged recently to get rid of the pro side. They said the pro industry doesn't make any money. You need to, if you want to get rich quick, you need to just go with retail and forget about the pro side. And I looked at them, and this is from a multimillionaire, popular person in the industry that gave me some coaching. And I was like, that's not what I want to hear. And I just told her, I'm committed to my pro side because that's who I am. That's where I started. So I'm not gonna abandon that side of it. I'm not looking for quick profits. I'm looking to make a difference. I'm looking to actually bring care back to hair, support stylists in doing that, and reestablish relationships, just like everyone needs a dentist, a professional, you know, everybody has a professional for different areas of their life, whether it's a massage person, a trainer, you know, a dentist. Yeah, I can brush my teeth every day, but I need to go to the dentist to get my x-rays and my deep cleaning and those type of things. So to let consumers were home struggling with their hair. And I'm saying, you know what, we have these products for you to use, but we also have these professionals over here that can really, really help you. And so It's been working out good. Our website, we have a salon locator where we feature the stylists that meet the requirements to be on there. And I get inboxed a lot on the consumer site. Hey, I'm in Texas, I need somebody. I'm in Georgia, I need somebody. And I like that I can send them to the website and they can find someone near them and book an appointment. And it's kind of like a full circle, whether they're a retail client or whether they're, you know, a pro. It's you know, it starts to become like a big family of, you know, people.
Okay. So how did you actually get your like the stylists that use your product? Like, what method did you use to, you know, to get them to use your
social
product?
media, Facebook. I already had a small audience from teaching my color classes and going to trade shows, and I was building an email list. And so I would email them about things because I'm also an author too. So they were either supporting my color classes or supporting my book and just staying connected. And so I started with that audience, and then I just started sharing the results of the product over and over again on social media. And that's how the core audience have found me. Is through social media.
Social media. So social media has been good for you.
If you work it, it will work for you.
Now, when I initially met you, you were staying out on the West Coast. And not initially. Yeah, you were still on the West Coast. You were still on the West Coast then, right?
Because we hadn't came for Summit. We hadn't came for Summit. The Summit was December 8th last year. But I was preparing to move.
Were you?
Yeah, I had my move already planned. I already had my date locked in for December 23rd. And I just came here to do Summit, and I went back home and worked for 3 weeks and packed up and left.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, but Tampa is initially home, right?
Florida is initially home.
Okay.
I'm from a small town in Florida, but I moved to California in 1987, 7, and it was home till last year. And I just decided to come back home. I wanted to be on the East Coast, and then learning that my father was originally from Florida and actually meeting other siblings and relatives in Tampa and a surrounding area, I just wanted to be back here. And the best thing I ever did.
Well, I'm moving back home was the best thing I ever did. So I can get that. So being a black female in a, you know, the hair care industry, some may not think so, but on the product side, it's dominated by men.
You think so?
On the product side?
On the product side, as far as like black owned products?
Yeah.
Probably, I never even looked at that. I never even thought about it. Because, I'm a black woman, but I don't even think about, am I the only black person or how many other black people are doing this? I don't even think about that.
Because you focused.
Right. But now that you said that, and I'm going through my head of the companies that I know, and I can agree with that.
It's male dominated, like, because and I think is hair care for women is personal. Like it's a personal thing, you know. Once you get a stylist, well, it's sort of like that for a guy. Once you get a barber that you rock with, then you gonna rock with them
Yeah, for a long
forever.
time. Yeah, for a long time.
Unless somebody moves, she move or he moves or you move, but for the most part, that's what it is. But men are always thinking about ways to make money, right? Like they're always thinking about ways to make money, like and just preparing myself a little bit for the interview with you, not a whole lot, because I wanted to be organic. Like I want us to have a conversation about your industry. And I'm looking at the industry and I'm like, a lot of these companies are owned by men. Like they're owned by men. Like, how do men know women hair? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how do
they know
really,
business?
they know business, right?
Right.
They know business. So you just ruined my next question because you just said you don't even think about that. Like you don't even.
Yeah, I had never thought about that, and it's funny that you say that men dominate and it's a masculine industry. Is funny because someone was like, "Oh, you're so hardcore, and you're masculine. How do you date or how do you do?" And
Right.
I said, no, I'm masculine about my money. That's a statement I used to say. I said, I'm masculine about my money. I'm submissive in other ways, but when it comes to business, it's a different wavelength that I get on, and I don't know. I guess because I've always I don't know. I've just always had to make things happen. I've never been afraid to go after what it is I want, and I have been in other industries where it was me against them. And it was and it was men. I remember I studied computer drafting early on in my career, and that was the first thing they told me. They said, "Well, it's not a whole lot of women in in this industry," and and I said, "Well, I'm at that time I said, well, I'm here." So so I've dealt with that a lot of my career.
So you got your cosmetology license in California?
I got my cosmetology license in California in 1990. And then before I moved to Florida, I got my license about a year before I even moved to Florida. I started preparing. I started setting up, just getting things in order so that when I got here, I would actually have a license already.
Okay, so cosmetology license because you got to take the state test for each state. Right?
Yeah, but because California has the most required hours of any state, you can take that license to any state and apply. And if you don't have any negative, history, been sued or anything like that, you can actually apply what they call reciprocity. And I just had to take the health test, and they granted me a Florida license.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but that's not every state you can do that. California has 1,600 hours. I believe Florida has 1,200 hours. So if I was going from Florida to California, I would have to make up those hours.
Those 400 hours. Mm-hmm. Now, what would you say would be because, out west, they got a laid back type of style, right? It's just, it's like a laid back. What would you say the difference is when it comes to business, East Coast and West Coast?
One of the reasons I was attracted to come back to the East Coast, because I left here as a teenager, so I wasn't in business, but coming back and working, doing trade shows, networking with stylists, people on the East Coast have a stronger hustle. They just hustle harder. And in California, I just didn't get, I could outwork anybody, and it was really hard for people to work with me because the work ethic, like you said, they're very laid back, and the work ethic is just, to me, I don't know if it's the upbringing or just a Southern thing, but the work ethic to me was just not there. And so it was very frustrating for me. So I always felt comfortable around people on the East Coast, and everybody had multiple hustles and nobody was afraid to work. So.
Yeah, but you think you slick, yeah, because you left California, but you went to Florida, which is sort of comparable in regards to weather to California. So
It's even better.
Ah.
It's even better. It's even better because Cali always had a cool undertone.
Okay.
It always had a cool undertone that still was too cold for me. And so being here in Florida this fall is beautiful.
Okay, so being a cosmetologist was work, and I know you haven't, you closed down your shop in Florida, but was work easier to get in California because everybody wants to look good,
I don't think so. It was, to me, it wasn't, I had my niche, but to me, the East Coast women are they're actually more fashion forward than California women are. Yeah. California, women on the East Coast stay in the salon. They stay in the salon. They mostly wear relaxers because of the weather, and they stay in the salon. They must look good at all times. On the West Coast, that wasn't a priority. It was not a priority. I'd watch people walk past my salon with the worst hair going to get waxing and nails and eyebrows done, and their hair is never done.
Hey, it's crazy that you say that, right? Because Tracy and I we can be watching TV, and she'll see someone on TV and she say, "I love to put a cocktail in his hair," or "She need a cocktail." Mm-hmm. I kind of figured, like in California, is it humid there?
No, it's actually very dry. So they can wear silk press year round. Like on the East Coast, they have what they call silk press season, which is usually after summer when the humidity goes away. But in California, the weather is very dry, so they can silk press all year long. And there are some that are like loyal, they're weekly, bi-weekly, monthly clients. But on the East Coast, I think these girls stay much, much sharper when it comes to their image and their hair. They're much, much sharp.
So what would you tell someone who is considering going into the hair care product business? What would be the first piece of advice you would give them?
To know why you want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot of people when I first started that were like, yeah, I'm gonna do that too. But our whys were different. My why was because I needed to, one, create something that would create something that no one could take from me. No one could tell me what to do. Like nobody can tell me you can't say that, you can't do this. And right. I feel like it's tied to my purpose of helping to elevate my industry and service professional stylists and help them, revalidate them. And so I was always inspiring and motivating people without a product. So me having a product in addition to that, it just kind of gives me a different edge. So know why you want to do so, why do you want to start a product line? If you just want to see your name on the packaging, that's fine. But I always tell people when they tell me, oh, I want to make this or I want to start this, making it and is one thing. I always say, can you sell it?
Right.
Because if you can't sell it, it's just made. And now you're like, how am I going to get my money back? So it needs to be tied, I think, to a purpose bigger than you just want to see your name. But how are you going to serve people? How is your product going to make a difference? Whose life is it going to change? And so that you position it properly and you reach the right audience.
Okay. So are you happy?
I am very happy. I am very, very happy.
So you like the direction, the way, the Stick Out system is going?
Yeah, it's very organic. I wanted to do a lot of things a long time ago, and I just either I didn't have the resources or I didn't have the, what I needed to move forward, but I stayed diligent to what I could do. I always tell people, do what you can do until you can do what you want to do. So I did what I could do, the best I could, until opportunities presented themselves for me to do it the way I wanted to do it, like getting the barcodes and, you know, things of that nature.
The packaging, right?
Yeah, yeah, and a lot of, you can't rush, you know, entrepreneurship, especially when you're developing a brand, because a lot of the process is the journey, and a lot of the journey is who you need to become to even make the whole thing manifest.
Right, right. We was talking in the green room, like, you know, it took me a good 7 to 10 years for me to really get it. You know, like for the light bulb to come on my head and be like, okay, like you got to transform from just trying to get money to establishing yourself, like to, because if you establish yourself, then the money is gonna come, right? The money is gonna come, and like from where you are right now, tell us, how long did it take you from 4 years ago to right now? So we know it, you know, you've been in business 4 years, but how long did it take you to actually see a profit, a noticeable profit? Now, I'm not talking about, you know, you sell one item and you may make double. I'm talking about like, you know, a profit.
It probably took me, but see, I bootstrapped my whole brand. And so when I say bootstrap, I started with a very, 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 very small amount of money. And I still worked in the salon. And basically, I worked in the salon for the first 3 years so that any profits from the product, I could reinvest into the product.
Okay.
I wasn't trying to take money from the product because it needed everything to keep snowballing. And so, like we mentioned, COVID happened. And that was when I realized, when I met with my bookkeeper this first quarter, and I hadn't worked in the salon, and she showed me my numbers after COVID, which I was always had a little bit of fear of, if I don't have the salon, I don't have any money to actually, I won't pay myself. And I really wasn't paying myself. And then it wasn't until this year where I started living off of my efforts from the product, because I was always scared of taking from it. And when my bookkeeper painted it out for me, and I was like, I didn't go to the salon and I made it. I was like, okay, God. And then he really pulled, and I always knew I needed to come from the salon, because the time I spent in the salon was time needed to nurture Silk Out. And so COVID kind of pulled the rug from under me, and it was just me and my products, no more salon. And it was the best thing that ever happened. It was truly the best thing that ever, it was a little scary, but it was the best thing that ever happened. So I didn't get COVID, and I'm sorry for anybody who got COVID,
right.
That whole transition, it just forced me to just me and my products. That's all I had.
Hey, you know, there are certain things that happen in life, right, that if you don't roll with them, you're gonna get rolled over, right? Like if you don't roll with, like, imagine the people when the cars first came out, and you know, the people like, I'm not getting in that contraption, you know what I mean? But they couldn't go and get a job 20 miles outside the city. You know what I mean? Because they had to either walk or ride a horse or something or whatever. But you know, but they couldn't do that. So that car opened up a whole lot more opportunities for anyone willing to take advantage of the shift. You know what I mean? Like the shift. So what you did with your and that's why I think it was sort of like a perfect match for you, in that, you know, you got COVID, but COVID sort of made you centered, really, and focus on your brand. You know what I mean? You know, because you probably figured, you know, it's COVID. I ain't gonna be going in that shop. I'm gonna lose some money, so I gotta go hard right here. Like you probably figured that, not knowing that you was doing all right anyway. Like you not knowing that you was doing all right, but you know, you go in that mode where, like you said, you thinking, because you've been doing hair for 31 years, so
it was hard to walk away. And it was bittersweet. I mean, leaving my clients that I've had for 25 to 30 years, you know, it was a lot of teary-eyed that last 2 weeks, you know, and but I felt like my season was up. My season behind the chair was up, and to stay behind the chair because that's what everybody needed me to be. It probably would have been the death of my product, because I just wouldn't have. It just kept me so busy because it's, you know, the salon is hands-on. It's not I can work online and do a little bit of this. When you're doing somebody's hair, you are all in.
You know, it's with me. I have my graphic design business spans probably around about 10 states, right? I got clients in about 10 states, maybe a little more, but just like knowing that and knowing where I started from, you know what I mean? Like knowing where I started from, and to be like, yo, I got people all the way out in San Diego that use me on a regular. I'm proud, but it humbles me too.
Oh, for sure.
You know,
sure, because they have like, a lot of options, and they choose you.
Options.
Yeah, right. and they choose you. And so with that being said, I'm gonna segue into what we were talking about behind the screen.
Right.
Being a Black-owned business, like, people have choices. People have a lot of choices, and the same way I didn't really measure like how many women, how many men are in my lane. Although I'm a woman of color, I'm Black Lives Matter. I'm concerned about issues that concern, you know, our people. But when it comes to business, I just don't rely on me being Black to be enough to get somebody's dollar. To me, it's not enough.
Actually, I don't want that dollar.
Thank you. I've been experiencing a little bit of bulliness from these people that want you to let them know, are you Black? Are you Black owned? And I don't answer it on my page, because and when I've said, you know, I am, but I make really great products. Right. You know, I make really great products, and I really want you to work with me or buy my products because they work. And, you know, and it just so happened to be that I'm a Black woman. I don't need what I like to compare it to like affirmative action.
I'm glad you say that. You don't want that affirmative action money.
Yeah, I don't want the affirmative action of the hair care industry, because it's just I just think we're bigger than that, and I think it's been overdone. The whole Black-owned business has been, you know, a marketing tool. But do the product and services deliver results that transcends color lines? You know, people just want great products and great services. And to me, I almost felt like the other day, because they really came hard for me, I almost felt like it was don't ask, don't tell in the military. I felt like it was, would you ask me who I voted for? Is that going to be your governing factor if you shop with me? And because that's what they always say, well, you know, I was going to shop with you, but since you can't tell me what color you are, and I'm like, well, you're looking at my pictures and videos. My God, if you did your homework, you'd have it figured out. But I just feel like I just want to change the narrative, and I don't want to have that conversation about, you know, am I a Black-owned business? Because it's pretty obvious. Or at the same time, I also felt insulted, because I felt like you think that I have such a nice product that it couldn't be Black owned, so you want to double check to make sure. you know, they said, well, it could be a Chinese person behind you, or you. I said, so you think I'm like foolish enough to be the front person for let somebody use me like that? You know, I don't know.
Well, you know what I found out, Tam, is that, and anybody that knows me know I love being black. Like I love it. Like I'm not ashamed of it, you know, but my business is not like a black business.
Right? I always tell people I'm a green-owned business.
Right. Like it's not and my thing is I'm a black man who has a business. You know what I mean? Exactly. Like I'm a black man who has a business, but and the reason why and you know, it may be some people that may have been considering using me now won't, because I said that, but you know, doesn't really matter. But I understand where you're coming from when you saying, you know, you don't answer the black owned business, you know, question. I don't get it because I'm darker than you, and you know, so they know I'm black, like period. Like,
and then I feel like, oh, I'm not black enough. Now you playing the, you know, the light skin, dark skin thing on me, and it's like, come on, you know.
Well, you know, remember I told you, whenever, you know, a black person comes out with a product, it's usually another black person that is gonna come up and somehow be the expert on that product. You know what I mean? Like just and my thing is this: your product is undeniable. Like it's undeniable. I believe that my design skills is undeniable. Now, if you allow me, if you commission me to do a job, you will see that. Right. And whether I'm black or white, it won't even be a factor.
Right.
Like that won't be a factor. Right. But because you put in a factor at the beginning of the process, right? Like before you even know whatever it is I do, or if the product works, because you putting that at the beginning of the whole process, if you do use me, now you think you're doing me a favor. You know what I mean?
I totally agree. I totally agree.
You know, I use you because you're black. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Use me because you done checked around and you like what I have to offer. Like you did your research and you like what I have to offer. And I can imagine with you, like when you first started out, you know, you probably had like a lot of stylists that wouldn't even give your product a shot.
Of course. Of course.
But so how do you handle that?
What I learned is that most of my customers, my stylist customers, are people I've never met before. They found me through the results of the products. They either saw a video, a before and after, or some post I made, or attended a class, a webinar. Probably about 20% of my audience or less are people stylists that I know that said, hey, I'm gonna try your product and it works good. What I've learned is I don't look for, you just got to do marketing and find your audience, because your friends and family and people close to you, which is your warm market, may not be your target audience. And so when I look through my customer list and all of those, you know, my marketing team is running ads to people. There's the people I know say, oh, I keep seeing your ad. And then, but all the sales that come in are from complete strangers. So I do business with complete strangers. And, you know, the stylists, I get to know them because we interact. But I see people cry on social media and they say, oh, none of my friends and family support me. And it's like, you're not looking for support. You're looking for customers. You're looking for customers that you can, you know, or people that are interested in product that you can convert into customers. And that's it. At the end of the day, I'm giving product away for Christmas for people that I know, you know, but I don't, I have more ads running than I talk on social media about my business. I mean, I probably have 2,000 or 3,000 friends. I don't depend on that to grow my business. I actually invest in marketing to find people that are a match with my
your
product.
Right.
And
Right.
that has been, man, that has been, the best thing I ever done. And when I talk to entrepreneurs that say, I post all day and nobody's done, I said, you're entertaining people. You're like a clown. On your personal page, you can just be entertaining, and they're not going to action because they're really not your business audience. You got to find your business audience, and you find that through education or sharing the results of working with you, and get in front of people that, I can use his services, or I can use her product, or, I need that. And it's usually not the people that you know.
Well, what I found is, man, there's, the old saying, there's strength in numbers, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's strength in numbers. And when it comes to business, I take that to say, you got to let as many people as possible know what you have to offer.
Mm-hmm.
And indiscriminately, right? Like how people say, well, I'm going for the 18 to 25-year-olds, or they have like they have an age target market. Or me, when I did do a lot of marketing, I just tried to get volume.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just tried to get it out there to as many people as I possibly can, because common business practice says that you should get at least a 2 to 5% return.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's say if I reach 10 people, 2 people should at least call me to engage and ask me about whatever it is that I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
So, I used to just try to do, 1 million impressions. Just see what 1 million impressions will do, right? And what a lot of people don't understand is that after you done paid the chemists and all those people to put your product together, you done paid for the packaging, right? You done got all that together. And that's a lot of money within itself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's a lot of money, right? That's a lot of money. But I not trying to get into your finances or anything, but I would gather to say that you probably spend anywhere from about 15 to 20% of your profits in marketing.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Right.
Pretty much. But it pays off, and
residuals.
It's just an investment that you have to make if you're real serious about your business. I have people that say, I'm not spending no money. My marketing team just sent me my bill for last week, and between Facebook ads and them, I'm probably spent my Facebook ads alone right now probably are about $4,000 a month just for Facebook ads. Wow. But it's reaching a lot of people I don't know.
You don't know. You couldn't reach.
I could never pass out that many business cards a day. That's why I haven't had business cards in years. But I've created some content when at least if half the people I know is like, that ad is everywhere. Every time I look up, that's what and so that lets me know my team is doing a great job, and we're getting in front of the people, and the cash register is ringing, and I'm like, hey, they're doing their job. They earned every dollar. They earned every dollar of what I paid them. So
I used to do promotions for club, right? And we had this thing, it was called guerrilla marketing. Mm-hmm. Where we would go and we would go print up 10,000 flyers and put them everywhere. Like it indiscriminately, like it didn't matter. Like if parking lot full of cars, we hitting them. Mm-hmm. So when I first moved to DC, and this was about 5 years after going into business, I took that approach to the internet with marketing. They had this company in DC that had an email list, and they used to do email blasts. Mm-hmm. Now you figure DC, 600,000 people, 600,000 people. And this company's email was like 350,000 people from DC alone. Like they done. So I'm thinking I'm gonna get some business. And I paid for this particular service. And Tam, when I tell you the business start rolling in, see, you got to factor in too that, okay, you spend all this money on advertisement, you better be able to cover, you better be able to cover the influx that's gonna come in, because if you put yourself out there to 250,000 people, right, 250,000 people, 100 people will actually, and you're a one person operation,
right?
Like that's overwhelming. You're happy that you got all those people coming in, but you're like, oh, how am I going to get this done? So I know that you package. I know you you pay for the design of your packages. I know you also pick out the finished product of the presentation of your packages, right? And you're distributing too, right?
Well, I now have someone that actually handles that for me. So he packs all my orders.
I remember when you I'm sorry for cutting you off. I remember when you had just got a big order and you put it on Facebook and it was just boxes everywhere. Like
and that's actually nothing. We probably tripled that. I have a big order arriving next week. So back to the ads and being ready. I kind of started stocking up on my Black Friday inventory about 3 months ago.
Wow.
And based on the my audience, I thought, okay, I got these blow dryers, I just need 500 of them. And I had sold about 150, and that's when the marketing team came on and they said, well, based on your analytics, this is the product that we're going to push because we think it has a very, very good shot. Well, they sold that thing out in 3 weeks. And luckily I had another 500 coming. They sold that out in 2 weeks. And so I dropped the order for 1,000, and we're actually on pre-order for that 1,000 because it arrives next week. And I've actually sold almost half of that out. So I didn't underestimate them, but when I say they did everything they say they're gonna do, man, it's like amazing. So having those people now, it just kind of eases up. Having somebody pack orders frees up my time, manage the product, the warehouse, which is the garage, but it's the warehouse. And our neighbors look at us like, what is going on in there? Why is all these pallets pulling up and boxes in the driveway? And I've been in this apartment a year in December, and it's time to move on. I need a house now because this is way too small. But just being prepared, like some people say they want growth, and could you even handle
exactly.
the traffic? If somebody turned on the water faucet on you, could you be able to handle the flow? And so I've had both teams, even the manufacturers, like, what? Okay, we're gonna dedicate a team just to making this for you because we don't want us to miss this. So let's get this. And I have great favor with them. And although they're in China, like they like really show up. Their work ethic is impeccable. They make sure they get stuff done. I don't care what nobody says about China. They make sure they get stuff done. They are not going to miss any money.
Well, the thing about how people are trying to feel about China now, right? Like before it was China, it was made in Taiwan. You know what I mean? Like before China, it was made in Taiwan. Like, and if you understand anything about like just society and business, right? You got to understand that if you got a country of 1 billion people, they need to be working, like right? Like they need to be working, because okay. let's say we in our country, I think unemployment maybe 13%. Right. And so you figure 13% out of possibly 200,000 people. Let's say 200,000 people. So you're looking at about, roughly it's supposed to be right 26 to like, let's say 50,000 people that are unemployed that can work. Now imagine that same 13% in China.
Mm-hmm.
That's 130,000 people doing nothing. No. And so in order for them to keep a job, they got to do a good job.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like they got to do it, not an okay job, because these manufacturers, they not an okay job, a good job, because these manufacturers, they understand that if they mess up with you, you can easily go down the street to somebody else to somebody else, right? So I don't get it. I applaud. First of all, I applaud you for being able to. I don't know how you found them, but you found them. Like,
I got lucky. I was ordering a bunch of samples, and it just happened to work out, and they were very humble as they work with me, and they taught me a lot of things that I didn't even know about importing, and even when I work with other manufacturers, they like let us know if you need any help, to make sure I wasn't getting overcharged and things of that nature. And so that is probably one of my best business relationships. And I've never, ever met these people. They've been in the States a few times and our schedules didn't match up for us to meet, but they're always, hi, Miss Tammy, everything okay? Is there, be safe, wear a mask, They inbox me, why doesn't your country wear masks? I said, I don't know.
They got to protect their investment though. You their investment, they got to make sure you're good.
So they always check on me, make sure I'm okay. So
that's good. Let me, and your new name is your new name. I'm gonna start calling you whenever I talk to you. I'm gonna say, how you doing, Madam CJ? Because you Madam CJ, you the new Madam CJ Walker.
Thank you.
That's what you are.
I'll take that.
I know that's right. Yeah, I know that's right.
I'll take that.
So Tam, where do you see Silk out in 5 years?
You froze a little bit. I heard, where do you see Silk out? Did you give me a time frame?
Yeah, 5 years.
5 years. I hope that I know we'll be thriving, and we'll triple, quadruple our pro market, and really, really have some strong stylists. Cover a vast area. We don't have enough professional stylists. Our consumer audience has like 10 times since COVID, because they've had to resort to finding products because they couldn't go to the salon. And so next year, with all the new packaging, and now we can do new branding, next year we'll start to get out and build our professional audience so we can help more stylists offer these results and have successful business with Silk Out System. I think 5 years we'll be going really strong. I don't have no goals to be on retail shelves. I like e-commerce. I like how it keeps the exclusiveness, and I'm all about profits, seeing our stylists be profitable with the product. So I'm not pressed to get a Target deal. I'm not pressed to, not to say that those things aren't options, but I'm not pressed for those things.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, Tam, we've been on, I told you to go quick. I told you to go quick. We've been on here for about an hour and I enjoyed it. I hope people got some information that they would want to use. I am going to share a little bit of your website.
Okay, thank you. Hey.
This is her website. It is silkoutsystem.com. Since the last time I was here, you done did some upgrades.
It's a lot.
It looks good, Tammy. It looks
really
good.
Thank you.
It looks really good.
Mm-hmm.
Now, everyone, I don't know if she did this one, but she normally does everything on her website. Did you do this one?
Well, back early summer, I had some young guys. They came in and did a quick overhaul because they were running ads for me, but they were like, "We got to clean up your website a little bit, for our ads to be effective because it needs you need to have a converting website." So they came in and did some stuff and kind of laid out the template. But I'll say that I've been able. I got to fix that link. I've been able to edit and kind of manage what they laid out. And I've added a lot of new apps, so that kind of makes things much brighter. And even they recently looked at it and were like, "Oh, who did you get to?" And I said, "It's the same thing you laid out. I've just, just been able to manage it self right now." So.
Yeah, Tam, you're a tinker with some stuff though.
I'm up late night digging for apps and all those nice features and reviews and all those things I've added on there. So yeah, and now I got to work on the pro website. That's the website that needs some TLC. So I'm working on that.
Nah, but if you run into some problems, I'm here for you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm here for
sure.
You. Okay, so don't go anywhere. I'm gonna put up your social media icon so people know where to follow you at, and then I gotta come back and I gotta ask you 2 questions. Okay.
Okay. Oh, that's cute.
All right,
thank
Tammy.
you.
Oh, come on. Question. I got it's a tradition here at the BRI. Get in front of the camera, Tammy.
Oh, okay, here I
go. This is tradition. Before I let you go, I have to ask you 2 questions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the first question is, what are you doing to push the culture forward?
What am I doing to push the culture forward? One of the things that I plan to do is I actually support, I can't think of his name, one of the guys from the Exonerated 5 has a website that helps provide legal services to men of color or disadvantaged youth that normally couldn't. I think his name is Corey. So I'm a donor. And I actually plan to get more involved. I have a son that is incarcerated, not wrongfully incarcerated, but still incarcerated, and probably would not be incarcerated if he had better legal representation. And that experience I spent in the courthouse supporting him, one thing I saw firsthand was so many unsupported young men, barely just turning 18 and made some bad decisions and bad judgment. And because they didn't have any support, any legal representation, they just kind of threw their life down, sold themselves up the river because they just did not have the support. So one thing I am passionate about is supporting this organization. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head, but they provide free legal services to disadvantaged men of color.
Okay, that's very admirable of you. Now, this next question, it surprises me, but a lot of people have been having problems with it, and I don't quite understand it, but it is what it is. I need for you to name me 3 famous Black people, but they can't be athletes or entertainers.
3 famous Black people. Annie Malone.
Oh, wait a minute. I don't know that one. Who is that?
Okay. So when you say Madam C.J. Walker, Annie Malone is who trained Madam C.J. Walker. So she's more of someone that I actually idol because her business model was the blueprint that Madam C.J. Walker ran with.
Is that the one she stole?
Yeah. I don't think she stole it.
She stole it. She stole it.
Well, in the movie, they portrayed it as she stole it. But I like to say she was inspired. She was inspired.
No. This is when I saw that movie, right? When I saw the movie, you know how they say based on a true story. Like meaning there's some embellishment going on, and I was like, they wouldn't embellish that part. Like, what I mean? They wouldn't embellish the part that it was somebody else's plan and she ran with. They wouldn't. That gotta be true. And then I read the book, and it was true.
Yeah, and if you study Annie Malone, her product line was called Poro Products. She not only had products, she had like an orphanage, she had a training school. Like she put this whole like sales team together. That's where Sarah Breedlove came from. She was a part of the sales team. And so what Madam C.J. Walker did was she had more popularity. And so she was able to get more credit. They always say she's the first black female millionaire, and she's not. Annie Malone, I think in the early 1900s was paying taxes of like, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. So that shows you how much money she was making. Right. But she did not have the popularity, and she ran into a lot of problems with, she kept getting sued a lot by people, ex-husbands. And so that kind of drained her of her resources.
Okay. So Annie Malone.
Two more famous blacks that's not an athlete or a celebrity. I would say Barack Obama. He's not an athlete or a celebrity. He's
definitely famous. He's definitely famous.
Yeah, he's definitely famous. And third one, I would say Nelson Mandela.
I have a hard time with. I love Nelson, but he's famous for going to jail.
Okay.
Like no. I know he went to jail because he was fighting for what's right. Right. I totally get that, but he was locked up for what, 20 years?
Okay. Well, okay. Martin Luther King Jr. That's an easy one.
You're gonna go from Nelson Mandela to Martin Luther King.
He wasn't an athlete.
Okay, I'm gonna give you that. And the reason why I'm gonna give you that is because Martin is responsible for the Civil Rights Act, right? What is Nelson responsible for? You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Like don't get me wrong. I love Nelson Mandela. Love him. Love what he stands for. Think he's a genuine man. Think he was a genuine man in fighting for what he believed in. But what did he do? He went to jail. That's what he did. And so when people name him, I understand it. But if you ask them, well, why is Nelson Mandela so important? They couldn't tell you. Like they couldn't tell you. Now he was a lawyer. He fought and was locked up and admirable and everything. But when it come to actually, when the history books are written about Nelson Mandela, it's gonna be written about the fact that he got locked up doing apartheid for 20 years. Right? No, he didn't pass any legislation. You know what I mean? Like just important legislation and nothing like that. But everyone, I love Nelson Mandela. Love him. So I don't want nobody bullying me, Tam. But Tam, it's been such an enjoyable night talking to you.
Thank you for having me.
Oh man, I mean, you might be one of the richest people I know.
I'll take that. I'll take it.
But I'm proud of you. I'm honored that you throw a little bit of work my way from time to time. Because that tells me you trust me with your brand,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm honored with that. My wife is definitely pleased with your product, as you can
Great,
tell, right?
great,
Like,
great.
and I'm gonna be calling on you again because after this COVID thing is done, I want to do more interviews where we see how the past people that I interviewed, how they what side of COVID they come out on. You know what I mean? Like what side? Because if you're an entrepreneur and you're a business, like I want to see how well you did during this pandemic. Like because it's all about strategy now.
Right.
Like it's all about strategy. So I want to bring you back. I want to see. I know you're gonna be successful, but I want the
Thank
people
you.
to see. I know I want the people to see you being successful, and then maybe you can give some people some pointers on what you did to maintain during this pandemic. Because me personally, I think we got a good 9 more months of this. Like
Oh yeah,
a
yeah.
good 9 months, good
Mhm.
9 months. Like August of next year may be where we start seeing the light of day. You know what I mean? And then you got that period where you've been going through this so long, you're gonna have people who are still gonna be timid about going
Mhm.
outside.
Right.
So you're gonna have, it may open up in August, but it may not be any activity until November.
Right. Right. No, I hear that. I have friends that have salons, and they're like, we're operating at 30%.
Right,
You know,
right.
so
And it's it's almost like God telling everybody, y'all need to slow down. Like,
yeah,
like,
slow down. Be more prepared. A lot of people were not prepared. We,
mm-hmm,
we we just take for granted that we can get up and go to work every day and make money,
mm-hmm.
and not really saving. And what if it's rainy day? COVID was a rainy day. Like we were legally
Right,
shut down. And
right,
so a lot of people were not prepared. A lot of people, business went under. Big business went under. There's so many empty commercial stores right now because they packed up and got out and didn't come back. They was like the 3 month shutdown will kill us.
but all to me, all those stores that got shut down,
Mm-hmm.
it is almost like what the doctors do if someone goes into the what they say the doctors do anyway. If someone goes into the hospital and they got chest pains and they die, they put COVID on their death certificate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those small, those storefronts, if they closed or went under in what is it now? Almost 11 months into COVID,
Mm-hmm.
then they were tightroping a long time.
Yeah, no, oh no, that was their exit strategy. That was their exit strategy. I went to a shopping center today, and I'm like, it's noon, and the Red Lobster's closed. I said, oh, they're actually closed down. I pass a salon. It's been closed every day, no matter what day of the week I go. I actually called. I was like, he says, no, we're closed. We're not opening back. We broke our lease. We're closed. The GNC closed, empty. Fashion. I mean, these are name brand stores they took their losses and tucked their tail and called it a loss and moved on.
Because online was killing everybody.
Everybody.
Like online was killing like even before COVID. Like even before even before COVID, online was really hurting a lot of businesses, right? So now prior to COVID, you still have stragglers. Some people that that will
Foot
walk into the
traffic.
store.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had it. But when you ain't got that foot traffic, you're like, like you operating in the red constantly. Constantly. So, they took that PPE money and rolled out, huh?
Yep.
Okay, Tam, I'm gonna let you go because you know how we do when we start talking.
Right,
So,
right. But thank you for having me. It's been my pleasure being on here.
And as I tell everyone, thank you for agreeing to the interview. I'm humbled and very honored that you decided to do it because you didn't have to and you did. So thank you.
All right. Thank you.
All right, everyone. That's Miss Tammy Golden-Pugh. Thank you, Tam. Hold back, Tam, and I'll get back with you. Let me do my closeout and I'll come back with you. Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's Tammy Golden-Pugh of the Silk Out System. If you let my wife tell it, it's a very good system, very good product. She gonna put a cocktail in my head sooner or later. But everyone, if you are an entrepreneur and you have a business and your business is struggling right now during this time, I just want to say this to you. Don't give up. Do not give up. Do not give up. I know it's hard because everyone has a family. The lights got to stay on. The heat got to stay on. But when you believe in what you're doing and it's your passion and you love it, just keep fighting for it. Just keep fighting for it. Just keep trying to find a way to stay afloat, because when we do finally open the economy back up, it is going to be a flood. It is going to be a flood because there's so many things that's happening right now. People are going to be anxious to get outside. People are going to be anxious to do things. People are going to be anxious to spend money. They're going to be anxious to just be around other people. They're going to be, and most of all, they're going to be happy. And happy people spend money. So just hold on, be diligent, be patient. And if this is what if your business is what you believe you should be doing, then don't let anything stop you from doing it except death. I'm going to leave y'all tonight. And as I always do, in order for you to receive a blessing, you must first be a blessing. All right, everybody, have a good night.